Hello, welcome back everyone. I hope you're doing well. Today we will add some combat elements to the game. We kinda started this episode a few days ago during a live stream, and this is the final code. The code is of course adjusted and simplified and also cleaned up since then. But the general idea here is the same. Make the player attack the enemies and then they just disappear. There's also news in form of new supporters, 2 new members, G Lim, who joined during the stream, welcome to the club, and we also got DC Ferson from Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you guys, I appreciate the support. And then there were also someone who sent over a coffee. Thank you to this kind someone. Before we start, this channel have a Discord server where you can discuss and ask questions about the tutorials of this channel. Or maybe you just want to swing by and say hello. We will also use GitHub throughout this tutorial. There you can check the most recent code, but also code from previous episodes. That comes in handy when something works differently on your side compared to what you see in the episode. And for the people that want to go the extra mile to support the channel, there's a Buy Me a Coffee page and also a membership option on YouTube with some basic perks. With that being said, let's get back to the episode. Multitouch was our last episode. A topic at first glance can be seen as complicated. However, once we understand the 3 main components, we got it to work. The first one is the event. What is happening on the screen with the finger? Are we putting the finger on the screen, removing it, or are we moving it around? Then there is the action index. For each finger we also have an action index that corresponds to, well, that finger. And the index will allow us to get the value from the event. What the position is, for example. The last one, pointer ID, this is a ID of the finger, or pointer to be more correct, for as long as it's active. Once the finger or pointer is removed from the screen, the pointer ID is released. Then, by doing some small changes to make sure that only one pointer ID can access the joystick or the attack button, we got multitouch to work. We tested this in the end of the episode by spawning skeleton each time we pressed the attack button while we were running around. It works like a charm. I think our first objective is to get the actual weapon we're going to use into the game. And we're gonna start with this one, big sword. So we are just going to drag and drop into the drawable folder. And making sure it goes to the drawable and okay. Now we need the enum. Just like we do with game characters, we need an enum for our weapons. At the start we're gonna start with just one weapon, but there could be more weapons later down the road. So a enum we need for the actual images. Weapons. I think that's a fitting name. And implements, bitmap, methods. And we need not a constructor, but a weapons, like so. Then we need our first type. So let's just call it big sword. And the resource ID will be r.drawable.bigsword. And that's all we're going to start with. And we need an int res ID like normal. That is better. We need the image to store it inside. So a bitmap weapon image. Then we say weapon image is equal to, and I'm just gonna copy from another here. I think that one is good. But we're gonna make this one scaled right away, so get scale bitmap, put this inside that one, and res ID. Alright, I think we can minimize that for now. Can give it a save, minimize that. Oh, I almost forgot. Options.inScale equals false. We don't want that. And then I think all we need is getters, right? I don't think we need anything else, so we need the image. So public get weapon image, yes. And then of course we are going to need the width and height of the image. So public int get width, which is return weapon image to get width, yes. public int get height. Return weapon image get height. And non-final, yeah, we can make it final. We know we're gonna change it anyways. Alright, so the next part would probably be to just see if we can draw the weapon. In our draw player, why don't we draw it just below it? So, for example, draw weapon. And we pass in, of course, the canvas. Then we create that method. And just simple c.draw bitmap weapons.big sword get weapon image. And X and Y. Let's take the player position for now at least. And null for paint. Alright, let's give this a try. We should probably see it. So it's in the player's X and Y position. Alright. Now with the sword being displayed, we need to get a proper rotation of it, depending on the direction the player is facing and also the correct position. But before we can get that going, we need to fix the actual hitbox of the player. Because that is what we're going to base everything on. If we are on the left side, we're going to base on the left side of the hitbox, on the right side of the hitbox, and so on. So the hitbox for the player is the first thing that needs to get worked on. And we take a look at our player here. We don't have much code in here. Alright, let's take a look at character. Here is our first issue. The character, we just put 1, 1 as width and height in the hitbox because we didn't use it, but we needed some value there. And this we need to check what our size is. We have a game constant. There we go. We have the default size, which is the player. Player is 16 by 16. Then we scale it by 6, so we get size. So we just need to say sprite.size because we have default times scale multiplier, and that should probably be the size of the player's hitbox. Maybe we can even do it like this. Does it recognize? No, maybe. Oh, there we go. Alt, enter. Sprite in-game, yes. And if it doesn't show up, you can add this line right here. Import static, blah, blah, blah. But we need it same for height. Size is the same in width and height. And now let's see if we can go to our playing class. We draw the weapon, player. How do we draw the hitbox? We base everything on the hitbox, right? We draw the sprite, depending on that, the left, the top, and I think we can just say c.draw rect, asking for a rect and also the paint. So we just say player.get hitbox and paint. Do we not have a paint? We don't have a paint here. Let's just add a red paint. So private final paint, red paint, or hitbox paint, or whatever we want to call it. Red paint equals new paint. And we also, that's correct, we need to set the stroke size and all that stuff. Stroke width, let's go with 1, and then red paint dot set style stroke. We did this in some episodes before, so it shouldn't be completely new concept. And of course red paint dot set color dot red. And then down here for the hitbox, red paint. That should do it. And we take a look, and no. We have a hitbox, but it is a little bit weird. Why is that? Well, the hitbox, let's see where it is. Character. We just send that to entity, right? Yeah, here is our first issue. Our hitbox is not based on X, Y, width and height. It's based on left, top, right and also bottom. So the simplest fix here would simply be to say pos.x plus the width, pos.y plus height. So that can be confusing if you're used to XY, width and height, but this should create the hitbox just like we want. And it did. And now we can see that the sword is in the top left corner of the hitbox because, well, we base our character on that very position. So next up would be to get the sword to be in the correct position, depending on what direction the player is facing. So let's get that going. Now let's go ahead and add the hitbox for the weapon, because right now we're just drawing it based on the player's position, but we want to draw it based on the hitbox for the weapon, and then the weapon hitbox is going to get updated depending on what the player is doing. We need to start with creating the hitbox, so private rect f AttackBox. Weapon box. Let's just call it AttackBox. That's good enough. We can set that to null right away. And in the update method, we have the update player move. Then we update the player. Then we have the skeletons, which are not active at the moment. But after the player, we can say update web hitbox. Alright, create the method. And here we're going to need the position, and let's store the position in a pointf position. Depending if you're facing up or down versus left and right, the width and height of the hitbox is going to be different. If you're pointing up or down, the height is going to be bigger than the width, but if you're pointing left or right, then the width is going to be bigger than the height. So we need to set that as well, or check for that actually. So float width and then float height. And then we can say AttackBox is equal to new rectf pos.x pos.y pos.x plus width pos.y plus height. And we just need to set values now to these ones. And let's begin by getting the position. So pos equals get web position. And let's create that method. And in here we can have a return switch, which is a switch that returns in simple words. And it's a new, I think it's in Java 14 or something like that, that allows for this switch to take place. Otherwise we would just store position here as null, for example. Then depending on the case, we set position to something and then we return pos. But now we can do it like this. And what are we going to switch? We are going to switch to player.getFaceDirection. Insert default branch. Yes, we're going to need that. And it says unexpected value. Yeah, we can deal with that. And then we need to semicolon after it. So the first case will be game constants dot face there dot up, and depending on that we're gonna new pointf. For x we're going to need, of course, the player left position, player dot get hitbox dot left. And we're gonna have to move it a little bit to the right because of the sprite, how the player looks like when he is attacking up. So we need to take that into account, and we need to take that into account for all directions. But we're gonna start with up. So left plus 1.75 float, And this is a value that I already have tested, and we're gonna multiply with gameConstants.sprite.scale multiplier. So it's always going to be in the correct spot regardless of the scale multiplier. So whatever we actually set the game scale to, it will still be in the right position. So that is for X, and for Y, or top, so to speak, we can say player.getHitbox.top minus weapons.bigsword.getHeight, because we're going to move it upwards, so we just need to say minus the height of the sword. And that is our up direction. Then of course we need case for, we can copy this, dot down, and a new point F here as well. And if we're facing down, we want to say player.getHitbox.left plus 2.5 float times gameConstants.sprite.size, not size, scale multiplier. And for Y, we go player.getHitbox.bottom, so here we can use the bottom one. And I think that is all we need for down, yeah. And for case face direction dot left, we're gonna say new point player dot get hitbox dot left minus weapons dot big sword get height, actually in this case, because we're gonna rotate it 90 degrees, so width becomes height and height becomes width in that case. It's gonna make more sense once we get into it, but for left we're gonna have to have minus big weapons.bigsword get height for the X position or left position. And I think that's all for the left X position. Then for top we need to say player.getHitbox.bottom minus weapons.bigsword get width in this case, and also minus 0.75 float times gameConstant.sprite.scale multiplier. And the last one will be gameConstants face direction.right, yes, new point F player.getHitbox.right, right, and that's all we need for that part. And then for Y we go player hitbox.bottom, and we're gonna minimize or go up a little bit weapons.get width for the big sword, even though we're getting the top or Y position. And we're going to also say minus 0.75 float times gameConstant.sprite.scale multiplier, just like left. And I think that looks good. So let's assume this is working fine and there is no problems here. Then we can go right to get the width and get the height for the weapon. And depending if we're facing up or down or left or right, width and height needs to have switched values. So get wep height. And we're gonna make that method too. And we're gonna base it on the same. So why not just copy this one and a end bracket and finish it off like so. It also needs a default branch, otherwise it's not going to work. And the first case is for up or down. So let's just get this one up or down. And if we are up or down, then we're going to say that height is going to be height. That's what we're going to return. We're going to return height. So if we're up and down, height is height. Otherwise, case game constant left, game constant right, then we're going to return weapons, big sword, get width. So height is going to be, well, height if we are up or down, but if we are left or right, height is going to be the width of the weapon. And we're going to have the same type of check for get web. Oh, that's wrong, but get web height, those two are flipped, so width. Alright, that makes more sense. My bad. But the code in here is correct. Up, up, up for height, yep. We can copy this. But we are going to switch left, right, up, down. So for width, if you're facing left or right, we want the width to be the height of the weapon, and vice versa. I think we can test this now. And to test this, we need to find where we draw the player. We draw the rectangle for the player attack box, draw a weapon. But we want to draw the weapon hitbox. So c.draw rect, attack box, and of course red paint. Let's see if we can see the hitbox of the weapon. If we do that, like we do, yes, then we can now work on getting the image of the weapon in the hitbox, or base our sword on the position of the hitbox, and of course the rotation. But this is looking good. And to get the weapon to be in the correct spot, we're gonna change the player's hitbox for where we base it to the attackbox dot left for left, and then attackbox dot top. So it's going to be displayed correctly or drawn correctly from the top left corner of each hitbox. So it's going to be drawn correctly only for down, because that's a default. That's the default position and direction of the weapon. So we don't need any rotation for it or change any values here. But for left, you see that the weapon is spawned in the top left corner, which we want it to. Same for up, same for right, etc. But we do need to rotate the weapon. So for up, we need 180. I think it's 90 or 270 for right, and 90 degrees for left. So I think it clockwise. We'll see. We'll adjust. So first we need to get the rotation going. And when you rotate, you don't just rotate one image, you rotate the entire canvas, and then you draw on it with that rotation, and then you can rotate back the opposite direction. So if you rotate it 90 degrees, draw something, then we need to rotate back 90 degrees to get it to just rotate whatever is between those two rotating calls. So let us try with a simple 90 degrees rotation. C.rotate, and we use degrees here, not radians. And we want to specify where is the rotation going to happen. Like where is the center, like where is the rotation point. If we just did it like this and didn't put any positions, then the rotation center, or where you're rotating around, is the top left corner of the screen, which is not what we want. We just want to rotate around this, the weapon. So we need to say attackbox.left, attackbox.top. So we don't rotate the attack box here, we're just rotating around the position of the attack box. And then we just want to do an opposite. So times -1 or -90 here is good as well. let's give this a try and see how it looks. So rotation can be quite tricky, and it crashed. Why did it crash? On a null object. Oh, that's right. So we don't have a AttackBox with any values because we set it to null right here. Player, let's just say update weapon hitbox. Does it matter if position, width, height? No, I think that's gonna work. So we do one update of the hitbox before the game starts, so to speak. So as you can see, now we did a 90 degrees rotation and it's clockwise. So the left looks cool or correct. Now we would just need to move it, the image, so to speak. The hitbox is fine. It's just the image that is not correct just yet. So you can see that we rotated around the top left corner here. So we need to find where's the rotation, where's the draw here. And we're not gonna hard code the values here. We're gonna ask for get wep rotation or get wep rotation or wep rot. Create that one, and then we're gonna have one here as well, but -1. So whatever we return, we just multiply it by -1 and we're good to go. And we can have a switcheroo like we did before. Gonna copy that. Bracket and that. And we're gonna have default 0. Then case game constants doesn't want to autofill. That's fine. Where are they? Were dot left is 90. Was it correct? Yeah. Case dot up is 180, so it's 90 degrees plus 90 degrees, and then case right is 270. And we don't need any rotation if we're facing down, so default is going to return 0. And 0 times -1 is still, well, 0. So let's give this a try, and I think it's going to look pretty good. Or it's going to face the correct direction at least. So facing down, facing left, facing up, and facing right. Alright, now we just need to put the weapon inside the hitbox all the time. And to get the correct position now for the image, the hitbox is fine, but the image, we need to take into account that we are rotating between here. So let's take a look at our game here. So right now, no rotation. Here we have a 90 degree rotation. So if you want to move the weapon now to like here, in our eyes right now, we want to move the weapon to the right. If we want to do that, then we need to increase the height. We need to increase the height of the weapon. So that is because it's rotated 90 degrees. So up is now to the right here, but that's only for this section here. So we need to say left plus wep rot adjust left. Wep rotation adjust for left. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. And we're gonna do one of these, but we're not gonna have those values, but we can keep them for a second. We only care for the left if we are going to up or to the right. We take a look. Here we don't need to mess with the Y position here. We just need to say go up because we're facing up. But here it's upside down, so now we need to go up, but also left because it's flipped. And for right we need to say, well, go right. For adjusting the left position, the X, we only care about if we are up or right. So we can remove left there. And we can clump these two to, oops. And we can clump these two together, like so. And then we can remove that one. And the value is actually going to be negative weapons dot big sword get width. Because if we take a look here, if we're facing to the left direction, we only need to move the weapon up. If you're facing up, we need to move the weapon not only up, but also to the left, because it's flipped now. So right is left, left is right. So that's why we only care about going up or to the right. So we have up, right. And right would be move it to the left. So negative width, or minus the width, so to speak. The same goes here, moving to the right, but it's actually left. For us it's right, for the weapon is left, so minus the width. So if we just run this and check if we have the correct X position at least for up and right. We do. And we also need plus for top, or adjustment for top. So plus web rot adjust right. And it's going to do the same. So we're going to copy this. But we don't care, because now we're adjusting for not right. Where did I put right? Left, top. So there's no right. Well, there's right, but that's not the one we're using. Top. So weapon rotation adjust for top. And if we take a look at our game here, we can just say we can remove this so we can get an idea how it's supposed to look, or trying to figure out what we need to do. So if we're facing to the left, then we need to move the weapon up. And if you're facing upwards, we need to move the weapon up once as well. But to the right and to the down is correct already. So it's just left and up. So yeah, that's the correct one. Left and up. And it's gonna be get height. Why are you complaining? Because there are two arrows here. It's supposed to be just one. And top plus that weapon adjust for top. Is this working now? It should be. It is looking good. And our attack doesn't work yet, but that's alright. So we have a functioning attack box, not functioning, but in the correct spot, and the image is being drawn in that attack box. Wonderful. Now we can start actually making the player attack when the attack button is pressed. Right now we're spawning skeletons, and that's not what we want. We actually want the player to do the attack animation. And that starts in our playing UI class here for check inside attack button. If we are, then we do something. And currently we were spawning skeletons, but we can remove that. We will need to, we can do it like so. We will need to actually store a ID. So private int attack button ID. No, but pointer ID equals -1. Then down at down, or pointer down, we check if attack button pointer ID is less than 0, meaning it's not active. If it's not active, then we can actually say playing.set attacking true. We don't have that yet, so we're just gonna let it be an error for now. And we can say attack button pointer ID equals pointer ID. So if another pointer comes and press on the attack button, it will not work, since we already have a pointer ID that is active on the attack button. And then down here we add a if pointer ID equals attack pointer ID. If it is, then we say playing.set attacking false. And of course, attack button ID equals -1. So setting it to inactive or not active, so to speak. We can set or create this method in plain. And we want to say attacking instead of B for boolean. And we want to say this dot attacking equals attacking. And we don't have that, so we need to set that or create that. Private boolean attacking. And that's about it. Attacking means the weapon is out. He's pointing the weapon. So with this boolean, we can now actually... Where do we draw the player? Because I think this is going to be a quick fix or quick change. Here we go. Player, get animation type. Face direction is not the one we're going to change. It's actually this one. We can add it right above here, or maybe right under. Private void, not void, but int get animation index. So this is a little bit of a workaround. If attacking, return 4, because it's 0, 1, 2, 3, and then the attack is 4th, I think, in the player sprite atlas. If not, then return player get animation index. And of course we need to use this one as well. And like so. Should that work? I think it should. Yeah, we have the player attack animation. So now you can see how the sword placement is matching the player sprite, which is looking good. Before we go ahead and fix the checking if we're hitting a skeleton or not, we first need to deal with the skeleton's hitbox. I know there's going to be a bug, but let's go ahead and just spawn a couple skeletons. Let's make a loop here. I can take it underneath here. For int I equals 0, I is less than, let's go 5, I plus plus. Spawn skeleton, and of course we want to draw the skeleton's hitbox as well. And we're gonna do that in our draw character, so we have the image for the skeleton, and then of course we're gonna draw rect instead. So canvas, draw rect. But c dot get hitbox for the character, and then red paint. Let's go ahead and see how this looks. And yeah, that is looking not correct. And there's a few errors here. The first one being we don't take into account the actual camera X and camera Y. So instead of saying c.getHitbox, we say c.getHitbox dot left plus camera X, c.getHitbox dot top plus camera Y. Then we need c.getHitbox dot right plus camera X, and the last one is c.getHitbox dot bottom plus camera Y. And that's the first one. Let's take a look. They're still gonna look weird, but well, as you can see, they are basing their position on the spawning point of the player. The second error we got that we discovered during our stream is here. When we update the move for the skeleton, we're only updating if it's moving up or down, we're only moving the top or Y here. But actually we also need to update the opposite side, because as we know, hitbox is not XY width and height, it's left, top, right, and bottom. So what we need to do here is for top or down, we need to go hitbox dot bottom plus equals the same. So let's just like so. Top, bottom. For left, it's also right. And for left, but right. But here we need to go minus. So double checking top bottom plus top bottom minus left right plus left right minus minus. How about now? How does this look? Alright, so the hitbox is working fine for the skeletons. And we have attack animation. Now we just need to make sure that when I do attack, the skeleton dies if the attack is in the skeleton. And to get the actual combat element here, it's not gonna be that difficult. We are gonna add a method in here, if attacking, and then we need a if not attack checked. And this is just to make sure that we only check the attack once per update or once per attack. So the next time we check for another attack is when the player removes the finger from the attack button and presses again. So each attack checks just once, but the weapon can still be out. And if that's true, then check attack. How to attack? Like that. And in here, let's actually add a boolean up here. Attack checked. Yes. Beautiful. And we cannot just check the current, where is it here? We can't just check this one with the skeleton. The skeleton hitbox is moving around normally, but we have a camera X that doesn't affect the player. So for the attack box, we need to remove the values for camera. And we can't go attack box minus like left minus camera, because then we update the position of the attack box. So our workaround is to just create a new rectangle F just once. Attack box without camera is equal to new rect F, but here we give it the attack box. Now we have two different attack boxes, and here we say attack box without camera dot left minus equals camera X, top minus equals camera Y. Attack box camera dot right minus equals camera X dot bottom minus equals camera Y. Now we have the position of the attack box in the correct spot without the camera. So now we can actually check if we are overlapping any type of skeleton. So for, what do we have? Skeleton S, we can go skeleton. Skeletons. If skeleton dot get hitbox dot intersects, and this is a bug that took me a while to realize, but if we just use intersects and go in here and take a look at what that says, it says if the specified rectangle intersects this rectangle, return true and set this rectangle to that intersection. Otherwise return false, blah 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 blah. So that means that if that was true, then we always all of a sudden just set the first rectangle to the second rectangle to have the same values, which is why would you want to do this? So what we need to say here is intersects, and we have to go the long way, which is skeleton, you know what, let's go with S, because I'm gonna have to spell that all the time. So s.get hitbox.left, s.get hitbox.top, s.get hitbox.right, s.get hitbox.bottom. If this is true, then we want to say skeleton.set active, we don't have false. Instead of removing it from the array and care about array modification errors, we just set it to false, or active to false, but we don't have it. So, character, no, let's put it to entity, protected, boolean, active. Equals true, because it sets to false if we don't specify it. Then we need a public set, we need a set active, and of course we need a public is active. Set active and is active, yes. Update, we can remove the synchronized, we don't need that anymore. That's in the update, skeleton, if skeleton is active, we update it. If it's not, then we don't. We should have one for, we don't need a synchronized either. Where is our draw? Where is our draw? There we go, skeleton. We don't need a synchronized anymore. Draw the skeleton only if the skeleton is active. I don't think there is any more. No, I don't think so. All right, so let's see if that works. Could be an error or two. Let's see if I can attack them. All skeletons got. Why is that? And also we need to say attack checked equals true. True. Check is checked true, and of course we need to say if attacking is false, actually equals false as well. Yeah. But now let's check that again. Why did all of the skeletons disappear after I just... Okay, all skeletons disappear right away, regardless if I hit them or not. Check attack, if S... Oh. We're checking if the skeleton hitbox intersects the skeleton's hitbox, which of course it does. This one is just sitting there doing nothing. I think that is gonna... Oops, there is a error right away. I didn't see it. Not get hitbox, but intersects. That's much better. Let's give this a try. Okay, they didn't disappear right away. Let's see if I can kill. Yep. I have moved the camera. I didn't hit. I moved the camera more. It's hard with just one finger or one pointer here. Probably gonna come back here. I'm gonna kill him then. Yes! I'd say that works. But the weapon is always active, so we need to deal with that. But let's come here. I'm gonna see if I can... Yes, that one worked. Does this one work? Yes. Yes. Yeah, I think it works. That one too. Come on. Come. And that one. Yes. Now we just need to hide the weapon if we're not attacking. And that's gonna be pretty simple. And we can do that by... where is our draw function? Here. Draw the player. Get the hitbox of the player. If attacking, we draw the weapon. And inside the draw weapon, we do just the weapon and the weapon hitbox. So let's see how this looks. Moving normal. Boink, boink. 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 Yeah, it works fine. And the multi-touch is also going to work. So yeah, this is looking really good. Alright, that was our first episode with some combat. Not much for now, but the player can attack the enemies and then they disappear. I'd say that's some good progress for today. The rotation of the weapon is something that can take a while to fully understand, but with some time and testing, I'm sure you will master it. Thank you guys for watching, I hope that you learned something new today, and don't forget to smash those buttons down there if you enjoyed the episode. Until the next time, take care now and have a wonderful day. Cheers!